Think scaling AI is hard? Think again. With Watson X, you can deploy AI across any environment. Above the clouds, helping pilots navigate flights, and on lots of clouds, helping employees automate tasks. On-prem, so designers can access proprietary data, and on the edge, so remote bank tellers can assist customers. Watson X works anywhere, so you can scale AI everywhere. Learn more at ibm.com/WatsonX. IBM. Let's create.
Prime Big Deal Days is coming October 8th and 9th.
Woohoo!
Which can lead to involuntary deal squeals, like the infamous deal on a new massager squeal.
Yeah!
Save big on Prime Big Deal Days, October 8th and 9th.
Want to make a podcast? Spotify's got a platform that lets you make one super easily, distribute it everywhere, and even earn money, all in one place for free. It's called Spotify for Podcasters, and here's how it works. Spotify for Podcasters lets you record and edit your podcasts right from your phone or your computer. So no matter what your setup is like, you can start creating today. Then you can distribute your podcast to Spotify and everywhere else podcasts are heard. Video podcasts are also available on Spotify, and when you want to take conversations with your fans to the next level, Q&As and polls are the best way to get them talking. With Spotify for Podcasters, you can earn money in a variety of ways, including ads and podcast subscriptions. Ever since I discovered Spotify for Podcasters, I feel so supported in the creation and distribution of my show. Spotify for Podcasters hosts masterclasses, office hours, and more to help creators develop and fine-tune their skills. I highly recommend you give it a try. Download the Spotify for Podcasters app or go to spotify.com/podcasters to get started. Hi everybody, what's up? Welcome back to 80/20. My name's Lily. Thank you so much for clicking on today's episode. I hope that you guys are doing well. There was no episode on Monday. And if you listened to last Thursday's episode, so a week ago now, which feels like years ago, but also yesterday at the same time, the reason that there was no new episode was because I was actually at yoga teacher training. And if I ever don't post and you don't know why, I probably said it in the previous episode. Just so you guys know, I would never leave you hanging like that. And if there really is a problem, I'll post about it on Instagram too. So make sure that you're following me over on Instagram so we can all stay updated. So last Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I was at yoga teacher training. And it's funny because it's not funny, but I just got a lot of questions just about yoga teacher training, asking me to make a podcast episode on the process, and just like DMs from people saying like, this is so cool, can you please tell us about it? And to be completely honest with you guys, I don't even think I can put into words the experience. It's just kind of one of those things that's like you have to be there. And not even saying that to be exclusive, because you guys know that I share so much on this show. There's a level to it that I don't think is describable. A lot of people think that yoga is just doing sweaty shapes in a hot room. And while that's oftentimes the reason that people come to yoga is for the workout, like health and wellness, but yoga is so much more than just the workout that we typically think of. And so that's why it's so hard to describe it, because it goes beyond just the physical practice. And so this past weekend actually inspired today's episode, because I had a moment, I have lots of moments of realization through this process. And I mean, being a young person, I think just being a person in general, you're constantly learning. You're learning about the world around you, you're learning about yourself. And when you're put in a situation that requires you to face your fears, your goals, your dreams, how you view the world around you, a lot comes up. And if you've been following the show, you know that I've had just a lot happening this past year. Ever since I started the podcast, like I'll look back on the first couple episodes, and obviously, hopefully I've grown within a year, but I'll look back and be like, I don't even really recognize her. And same goes with like social media stuff, just because of the things that I've experienced and the growth that's happened. And I would go as far to say that I feel like a different person since like last week. So that's nice. And that's also really cool, but it's also really hard because the more that you change and grow and the more that you learn, the more that you realize that not everybody is doing the same. Kind of like in All Too Well, 10-minute version, when she's like, the punchline goes, I get older, but your lovers stay my age. Maybe that's kind of what I'm thinking. I change, people grow and change with me, but the things that we do stay the same. And I say that like a question because I genuinely do not know. All I know is that there is a lot of change coming. And I felt that shift like physically inside me on Sunday morning. And I just freaking bawled my eyes out. I have not had a good cry in a very long time. Like, I cannot tell you the last time I cried like I cried this past weekend. So I think that the title of this episode is going to be like Hot Girls Cry. It was going to be Bad Bitches Cry, but I don't know. Hot Girls Cry is a little more PG, but hot girls, bad bitches, call it what you want. We all cry, and it's really important to let yourself feel emotions and release emotions. And I'm so just grateful for the women in my group and for my teachers and friends, because without their support and just encouraging me to feel what I was feeling, I don't think I would have had those big aha moments that I was supposed to have that day. And I just really reflected a lot on what I've been doing with my life for the past 5 years, how it's changed, how I've changed, how a lot of it doesn't align with where I am now, and what I'm supposed to do about that. Being 20-something is really interesting because you can take your life in a lot of different directions. And I don't think that we let ourselves experiment as much as we're supposed to. You know, the formula goes, the template goes, you go to college, you graduate, you get some sort of corporate job, and then that's it. Maybe you get married, maybe start a family, whatever. I did not follow that template. So for the past 2 years, I've been like, what am I doing with my life? I've been trial and erroring it left and right, winging it, doing whatever. I am just so ready for some sort of like stability in my life. And so maybe that's like my word of 2022 is stability. But yeah, I don't know how much I want to necessarily share on the podcast right now. I'm sorry if this is coming across as like really cryptic, but the internet's really fun, right? When you share one thing, even if you're young and you don't really know if that thing is going to ring true, you share one thing and then people think that it's set in stone. And then you change that thing and people get pissed. So it's a really tough spot because as much as I want to share so freaking much with you guys, I don't want to have to deal with what happens if those things don't happen. That's why you can't really dream online. You don't want to like project your dreams and moves and stuff. You just want to share like after the fact because people don't give you room. Like, they don't give you wiggle room, right? Oftentimes, we don't really know what's next, what's coming. We have dreams and stuff, but who's to say if that dream is going to happen right now? Who's to say if that dream is really, like, for you? So please just know that I am in the process of exploring a lot of different directions that I could possibly go in as far as work goes, as far as this podcast goes, as far as where I'm gonna live next year. Like literally, I could see myself living in so many different places, and that's so freaking cool. But ultimately, it's gonna be up to, well, we can just say fate, God, the universe. So when I talk about like what's next, just know that I do not know. But when I do, you guys will definitely be the first to know, I promise. But I am just as much in the know as you are. So not being in the know makes two of us. So why am I sharing all of this? You might be wondering. First off, I feel like it's really important to be super authentic on this show because I don't know if authenticity really exists online. And I totally would go into it, but I just don't have the capacity to go all psychological and philosophical and analytical, all the things. But I do think that it's important to share real and raw life. And I constantly get DMs from you guys, and I am so, so grateful that you connect and that we are able to connect on such a deep level because of this show. And I just want to make sure that you guys know that you're not alone in maybe not knowing what's next, in not knowing what you want in life, not wanting your past to dictate what you do in the future. And just know that it's okay to change your mind. It's okay to have liked something in the past but not like it anymore. And you're allowed to grow, you're allowed to change, and your passions will too. And I never, ever, ever want you to put me on a pedestal. And I'll get DMs that's like, oh, you're my role model, you're this, that, and the other thing. And while, yeah, it's good to have role models and stuff, I don't want you to think that I'm all like high and mighty because I went to nutrition school and I have a podcast. Maybe I'm sharing all this stuff today just to remind you not to look at me a certain way, and just know that I literally go through all the same shit that you do. I am not perfect. I honestly, at this point, don't really know what my life is going to look like. And even though some days I wake up and I am so sure that I'm going to be X, Y, and Z today, I go to sleep wondering if I'm cut out to be ABC. And I just am so on a transformative journey that I really can't tell you what next week's going to look like. I could open up my email and have the job offer of my dreams waiting in my inbox. I have no freaking clue what's coming next. And before you get too worried, yes, I'm applying to jobs, but yes, I'm also still going to do this. I never want to not do this. But you guys know I don't make money from the show. I have not made a single dime off of this show. And I have my coaching business as well, so that's fantastic. But I'm just looking into other opportunities, which is really exciting. So all that to say, I just wanted to remind you guys that we're probably more similar than you think. And I know when you go online and you see pictures and everybody's feeds and you listen to a podcast and you automatically jump to conclusions, but just remember that you never see the whole picture. And so maybe today's episode is just me trying to give you guys some pieces to put into the whole picture. Obviously, I'm not sharing every aspect of my life online, and there's a reason for that. I don't think that everything's meant to be shared. I do just want you guys to know that we're very much in this together, and I'm so glad that you're listening. And I love connecting with you guys. When you send me DMs, I am honored, and I'm still getting DMs of people Spotify Wrapped, so that's so crazy and cool, and I'm so grateful. I was actually get a Spotify Wrapped for podcasters. Like Anchor is my podcast hosting platform, and they give me just basically my analytics from this past year, and that platform is owned by Spotify, and so I get to see the analytics on people's Wrapped, and it was so cool to just see like what episodes did well in what countries and how many hours people spent listening, and you know, what times people were listening to my show and what was the most popular or whatever. It was just really cool. So I'm just so blessed that you guys found the show, you enjoyed the show, you listened to the show. And if you want me to keep doing the show, please, please, please share it with your friends, share it on your stories, give it a rate, give it a review. All that stuff really helps me reach more people and then be able to keep continuing to do this for you. So thank you so much to anybody and everybody who has shared the show, listened to the show, liked the show, just interacted with 80/20 in any way, shape, or form. I am so grateful for you guys, and you guys have absolutely changed my life, and I don't think that I would be where I am today without this podcast. So thank you. This episode's kind of all over the place, but one thing I just wanted to share with you guys really quick, because I guess on the topic of like that hot girls cry and like it's okay to feel your emotions, for a lot of people this week and next is finals. And I just wanted to remind you guys that you are wildly capable of anything and everything. You are so smart. You should not cram all night for an exam, because I actually read a statistic. If you get, I think it was less than 8 hours of sleep because you're looking at blue light, you have the same mental capability as a drunk person. I might have that statistic wrong in some way, but I know it had to do with lack of sleep, blue light equals same mental stamina as a drunk individual. So if you are looking at your screen all night long writing a paper or creating your presentation for your big thesis or whatever, or cramming for an exam, just know that when you wake up in the morning, you're probably not going to feel productive and you're not going to feel refreshed. So stop procrastinating. If you're doing this to procrastinate, please stop and go do your homework or your paper or that big presentation. The only thing that I would excuse you to do is like if you're listening to this as like a break. Maybe you're on a walk, maybe you're on the treadmill at the gym, maybe you're on your way to yoga. I would recommend all of those things. So kind of moving into my next point, but don't forget to take care of yourself. Like you do have time to work out, even if it's just 20 minutes to go walk outside. That 20 minutes is so much better spent than 20 minutes of unproductive work, quote unquote. You know, when you get to a point where you've been working all day and your work just becomes sloppy, your attention span is no greater than like 30 seconds, and you struggle to get the words out, that's how you know you're done for the day, okay? That's how you know that you're done. You're gonna go for a walk, you're gonna go to yoga class, you're gonna go do literally anything else, maybe cook yourself a yummy meal, you're gonna take a freaking break. And then you're gonna come back to it later, and you're gonna feel better. So if you have a big week or a big couple weeks ahead of you, just know that I'm sending good vibes your way. Please do not forget to take care of yourself. Please let yourself feel all the emotions. I know the holidays are sometimes hard for a lot of people. I know that the year ending is often tough for a lot of people. Things are kind of wrapping up. It's closing time on a lot of things. And I think maybe we're all kind of feeling that way to some degree. I know December is definitely closing time in my head. It's kind of dark and cloudy and maybe the weather's not as good, so just use this time after you've finished all the stuff, all of the finals, all the work things, the to-do list. Once all your boxes are checked, just rest. Let yourself be, journal, meditate, figure shit out. This is a great time to do all those things. That's what I'm going to be doing. I'm kind of pushing through to the end of my 12 days of wellness, which, by the way, if you guys are listening on the 8th, I have a couple resources up online for you today, and then I think the 9th might be resources as well. I think that the 10th is going to be 25% off the entire site. The 11th is going to be a free recipe, and then the 12th, I'm announcing my cookbook. I'm going to announce all the details of my cookbook, and you guys are absolutely going to love it because you've listened to the end. You've listened to me talk about all my feelings, all the shit. You get to know that on the 12th, I'm announcing the cookbook for pre-order. So get ready. I love you guys so freaking much. I'm sending you so much love, so much goodness, good vibes, good energy. I'm so blessed that you decided to listen. I hope that you guys have an amazing rest of your week and into the weekend, and I will chat with you on Monday.